All right, everybody, welcome to Best Coast Podcast. I'm your host, JJ. As you can see, there's no co-host with me tonight, so it's just going to be me. My co-host had to stop doing it for various reasons, but as you know, there's no chick flick moments on this show, so let's move on and move forward. And with the news that we got today, I'm going to bring you today is going to be a little bit of the Sharks action and a little bit of football action. Sharks lose another close one tonight. They had the lead twice in the game, 3 times, and then they gave it up and lost it in overtime. Again, this is something that seems to happen with the Sharks team this year is they can't hold on to a lead for whatever reason, defensively, goalies, and I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, they kind of seem to blow leads lately, and it's never fun watching this team. Don't get me wrong, close games like this keep me excited, keep me watching and wanting to watch more, but I need a victory. We haven't seen a victory in quite some time. It's been over 2 weeks since we've seen a victory because of the Four Nations Showdown, so please, Sharks, asking for a victory. Macklin tonight was held off the scoreboard, so that could have been a big reason why we lost this game, and maybe he gets another assist or a goal, and boom, we win this game tonight. We put up an extra point. But tonight, didn't happen. And I go to say the goalie earlier because the Sharks traded Blackwood, and we all know this is a tanking move by Greer just to make sure he gets a lower draft pick because he's not going to make the playoffs. This team was going to be good enough to be at the playoff spot with Macklin and Blackwood as the goalkeeper and Macklin as the goal scorer. This team would have been in there, ready to go, and winning some playoff seeds. But since since Blackwood's there, this is just a tanking move by Greer. But by doing that by Greer gives himself a chance to build up for next year. But if he doesn't come in and win next year, I can see him being gone. And this could be the short end of my career as the San Jose Sharks GM. Don't get me wrong, I loved him as a player. His defensive skills, his overall toughness and grit that he brought to the San Jose Sharks back in the early 90s, loved every minute of it. I like what he's doing with this team. He's brought in a lot of young talent and put some pieces there, but they're not enough to get any kind of headway, any kind of wins. The Sharks are in last place in the league for the second year in a row. This cannot continue because this is just not fun to watch. You're going to lose a lot of Sharks fans just because we're used to a winning record. I'll still be here watching, reporting on them, but it is what it is. So now let's go ahead and bring it back to the NFL. As we all know, this is a slow season for football, so there's not a lot of news going on out there right now. One of the biggest news that happened was that they introduced a new anti-Kansas City ruling. And I'm only joking about that because the Bills, if this would have been introduced last year, the Bills would have won that game last year and been in the Super Bowl. But what they're doing is they're introducing the Hawkeye technology. That is, they will be able to spot the ball apparently under a bunch of bodies, arms, or whatever, a lot easier than the ref can see, apparently. I know that was kind of obvious last year. All of America thought they got the first down twice in a row, and then it doesn't go their way. So hopefully this can show some sort of evidence that either for the referees or against the referees, whatever way. But this new implemented rule should have been here a long time ago. They got the pitch tracking in baseball. It's pretty precise. They can do it in tennis and volleyball. It's pretty precise. So I don't know why the NFL has been taking so long to introduce this, but it will be a thing next year. It won't just be in the preseason games. It will be all year round. So I'll be interested to see how this goes, how long it takes to develop, watch out their kinks in the preseason, and hopefully take it into full swing. And some other news too. They are revising the kickoff again. We all knew this was going to happen. They were going to have a trial run this year and then kind of go off on and try to improve it. 2 of their improvements is one, The touchback now will be at the 35 instead of the 30. This will make teams think a little bit more about kicking the ball all the way in to the end zone and versus trying to make them run for it. So that 5 extra yards could be a lot more because most teams are averaging from the 30 when they ran it. So let's see if this changes that. And the other thing is the kickoff will now be kicked off at the 30-yard line, not the 35. So for us old school people, that's where the original kickoff was at the 30. And actually, I think it was at the 25. I would have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it was at the 30. So now we'll be back at the 30, a little bit further, 5 yards for kicking. Doesn't seem like a lot, but for in those winter cold months, that 5 yards does mean a lot for some teams because some teams kickers can only get it to the goal line or just a little bit past the goal line. So this will help that out and get it on this side of the goal line where it forces a return and some action. And the last thing they're talking about doing is trying to find some way to get the kicking team to get the ball on the when they do a onside kick, to get that onside kick recovery towards them a little bit more. Because what it is now, it's pretty much minuscule. No one can do it. It's pretty much impossible. You have to really try to scheme up a play, try to find something that no one's ever done before, and really try to hone in on the team's weakness. And that's really hard to do with 11 really good guys on the line of scrimmage trying to go for that one ball when everybody knows you're either going to kick it to one side or the other side. You put all your catchers out there with some big bodies out there. Whoever's got good hands all goes out there. And more than likely, it's going to end up on the receiving team's hands and get the ball. So some Rams news as before I wrap up here. Like I said, it's going to be a short episode. It's just me. So, for today, the Rams have been talking to a lot of tight ends around the NFL. I said this before, and I'll say this again. The Rams are drafting a tight end number 1 with their number 1 pick, just because they really wanted the Raiders guy last year. Now they saw what he could do last year. They need to make a move on it. And this is what their move is. They're going to go draft a tight end. They're either going to go for Penn State, Tyler Warren, tight end Loveland from Michigan, or tight end from Mason Taylor from LSU, or Gunnar Helm from Texas. They've interviewed all those players recently, and they are continuing to interview players for cornerback and safety and stuff like that. Doing your pre-draft stuff. But like I said, more than likely the Rams will draft a tight end with their number 1 with their pick. And that their first round pick this year. I don't see them going too much other way unless their 2 guys that they have for tight end fall off the board and they have to go somewhere else. And then, well, who knows? We get another defensive rookie of the year because that's what usually happens. Next, you can listen to all these rumors all you want, but Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp will be around next year. Look, this happens to one team every year where all these stories get blown out of proportion and media needs to make news. Cool. Stafford wants $52 million a year. Now, that's fine. He's been wanting a bigger contract ever since he's won the Super Bowl. He got paid right before the Super Bowl, and now he wants more money because all of his guaranteed money is gone. Look, I said this every time before. Go and make your money. Don't let society stop you and say, oh, you're making too much money. That's bullshit. Because we all want to make more money. Stafford's in the position to make more money. So he's gave himself the solution. Now he's the problem, and his solution is the money. That's what we all should do at our works. We all want to raise. I don't give a shit if he's making $1 million, millions of dollars. We all want that money. He's been making millions of dollars since he's been in the NFL. Remember, he's one of the last biggest rookie contracts there was before this whole new rookie deals where they don't get as much money. So now he's trying to keep that money up and getting paid. And personally, I think he deserves it. Without this team, without him last year guiding this team and the way his presence is out on the field, throwing, slinging the ball, there's no way the Rams would have gotten as deep in the playoffs without him. Don't get me wrong, the team relied on the defense mainly, but without his gunslinging ability and actually with the ball and being able to hit people wide open, no way, no how. There's no way you put up 40 points on against the Eagles. No way you put 40 points up against the Bills last year and still have a chance to win. And now I'm talking regular season. They didn't do that in the playoffs, obviously, or so they would have won with the 40 points. But it is what it is. Stafford will be a Ram, so will Cooper Kupp, mark my words. You can listen to all this hype all you want. It don't mean a goddamn thing during the offseason. Now, if they ever do get traded, I'll change my tone then. But I still will say Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp will be a Ram. The biggest news for the Matthew Stafford trade right now is he's talking to the Raiders' Tom Brady, which is completely fine because the Raiders still need to put a good enough offer out there to entice the Rams to trade him. And I don't see Aaron Rodgers being a Ram. I don't see him fitting McVay's kind of coaching style. Don't get me wrong, Aaron Rodgers is good, was good, whatever you want to say, but I don't see him being a Ram. He likes LA, he's got a house in LA. He'd probably love to be a Ram, but I don't see him as a good fit for the Los Angeles Rams. They might turn to Jimmy G if that happens, or more likely they'll get Sam Darnold and then they'll still get a tight end because Sam Darnold proved he was a serviceable quarterback and can get you wins. And who knows, he just needs another good coach like McVay to kind of get him over that hump. He'll have a killer defense. He has a nice running back, great offensive line last year, one of the best offensive lines in the league, in my opinion. It broke down during the playoffs. Limmer really let Carter in twice in a row. I can't believe that. I'm still in shock and awe that Limmer had his rookie moments in the biggest moments, which kind of sucked. But hopefully he lives and learns and moves on from that next year. Other than that, I don't got much news tonight, you guys. I got chemistry finals coming up next week, so I'm going to try to get on board and get another episode. If news happens, if not, you might be looking at the week after that I'll get back on here and give you some more news on the Rams. I might have another co-host. I am currently talking to a few people about getting them in here and, or at least on here, whatever you want to call it, and getting people in here ready to play, talk to. So it's not just me in here stumbling and bumbling for 15, 30 minutes or an hour. It'll be really nice to have some fun and talk to someone on here again. But it is what it is for now. So with that, I have to tell you guys, good night. Have fun, be safe, and remember, the easiest way to make money against you is to scare you.